Hi, today we will talk about some common web terminology because people talk about web design, web development. You need to know the basic web terminology, what it is. We saw some of them in the previous lessons. We'll see some more here. Hypertext. Hypertext means it connects the documents and text links. It's actually a document, a file. It will have all the HTML script like HTML anchors, HTML elements, and DHTML stands for dynamic HTML. We already know what HTML is, hypertext markup language, and when it executes dynamically, we can see the web page on the computer screen. And a lot of things are happening internally. We'll talk about it step by step. There is SGML. SGML means standard generated markup language. It's kind of like dynamic. It executes whenever the code is executed, HTML file. What is an element? Element is a container that holds the document. So it has the /p tags, tab, like img. The whole thing is called an element. There are like thousands of elements or hundreds of elements in the doc file, which is HTML, to generate a page for the website. The website is having like many pages. It can be a 3-page website or 10-page or 100 pages website. W3C stands for the World Wide Web Consortium. That is like a standard for all the web things we do. DTD stands for document type definition. So for any language, we need to have like a standard, okay, these are the rules. We can put these statements here, these elements here. So that definition is called document type definition. A well-formed doc. A well-formed document means there are no errors. All the syntax is correct. HTML and XHTML syntax. So when you run this file, there won't be no errors. It's a well-formed doc. An applet, it's a small program. An applet runs in the client machines from the server programs, It's a small code that executes on the client side. A server is like, it'll have a lot of memory. There will be like 10 client machines. When we say client, it means a browser on a computer screen. That's it. It may not have a CPU, just a browser. And web server will serve all the clients. And lastly, the script. Script, it's the code for the web page. These are the basics. Next, we'll go to some more of the common terminologies. CGI is very common. Common Gateway Interface. It's a protocol. Protocol is like a definition for a document. So there is the server, and there is the user, like a retail web server. A lot of clients will be there. Each is a browser. And the CGI is like an interface between the server and the client, It regulates all the code. And we need to be familiar with these two things, the server side and client side. Some programs execute on the server side, some on the client side. Like an applet we saw on the last one, it's on the client side. So when a web page is displayed on the computer screen, a lot of things happen on the client and the server side. We'll go in detail, step by step. Those are called scripts, code. What is UA? UA means user agent. It's kind of like the browser you see on the computer screen. There are many browsers, Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari is the common on the Mac. And Internet Explorer is Windows, that is kind of old now. It's replaced by Chrome. And nesting means nested loops, There is a loop control. What is a loop control? There is an if condition. If some kind of expression, do this, else do this. That is the nesting. It can be nested here like, for one example is, we create a table. TD means the table element. See, TD, and here's one example, TD/TD. So that is one loop. And there is another loop inside that one, TD/TD, TD/TD. So the first loop, second loop, third loop. So this will get executed. The result will be thrown here, and then Number 2, this will be executed and the result will be given to the third loop. This is called nested loops. In a large project, many programs, a lot of nested loops will be there. And when we debug, we have to debug one by one, make sure there are no errors. The value means, before value, we have to know what is an attribute. So these are called elements. Table is a tag. The whole thing is called element. And width is called the attribute. For this table, width is 250. 250 by 250 we can assume. There is no height given. It's like a noun and an adjective analogy, table, these are the attributes. This is an empty element. See, img, there is no more attributes soon. When there is no attribute, it's called an empty element. So we saw some of the basic terminology. Next we'll see how a table can be displayed on the computer screen. There will be a lot of HTML tables displayed on the screen for different purposes in the project. This is the basic table element. So we define table/table in the document. And then we say width is, height is 250, height is 250, border. Border, you can put some colors, the table border. Border means this border. You can change the color. And TR means row. So rows and columns. A table consists of rows, columns. So this is the first row, TR. What we want to display the first row here, that is the program for that. Within the row, the columns, what is the column element? So this one defines the first row, first column element, like this one here, 1. And TR, there are two columns, row 2, cell 1, row 2, cell 2. Cell 2 means the whole cell, that is the column it's talking about. And this completes the basic table element. The next element we are seeing is form. So usually in all HTML pages, we input values, we input credit card info and all kinds of things. So we need a form to define that, to get the values. It's like input. Action attribute, method attribute, and we are posting. There are two methods, get and post. We'll talk about it later. I'm just defining all the basic elements, different elements of the HTML page. Here action attribute, you're sending email to somebody. When the user enters data, the mail is gone to somebody. The text box, it's another element very commonly used. Obviously name suggests it's kind of a text, So we have the P means paragraph, it's a tag. Name, input type equal to text. We can give any name here. We are defining the size as 40, max length is 60. That completes the paragraph. It will create a text box on the screen, like here. The dimensions are given here. So today we talked about all the basic elements of a HTML document. We'll continue in the next lessons.